They figured out a way to glitch the game to make it so that, if I remember correctly, you can just make objects have loading zone collisions instead of being like a physical object. So, if I understand this properly, the new route is wake up, jump off the balcony of your house, rob the village blind so that you can buy like sticks from the shop, go to the lost woods, clip through the geometry of the level to sink underneath the water and end up in the river. Slash a wall at like a pixel perfect angle so that you just go flying backwards out of the river into Kakariko village. You clip into the well. You go into the well and get bombs. You use the bombs to do something. I don't remember exactly what. I think you clip out of bounds again. And then you go to the loading zone for Death Mountain. You clip through the fence and leave the guard completely wondering what the hell just happened. You clip... You use the bombs to blow up the entrance to Dodongo's Cavern, which is the second dungeon in the game. You have already entered the well, which is like 17 hours into the game kind of thing. You go back to the second dungeon, you do some crazy setup, and you make it so that a bridge in the dungeon just no longer has proper bridge collision, and instead you just make it so that it teleports you to Ganon's castle, because you basically just jump out of the room while it's loaded into another room that isn't loaded visually, but it is still kind of there. And then you walk back into the original room's loading zone so that there's just a copy of it on top of itself. And you do that like 3 times, so the game just forgets information about the bridge's collision. And then you jump onto the bridge and it teleports you to the end of the game, and then you kill Ganon, and it saves like a minute. Okay? It saves
like
a minute, I think. To the new route. Or something like, something stupid like that. And I think the funniest thing about the whole affair is that there's a second reason that it has to be done fast, and it's because it only works when the game is in day cycle. If it's in night cycle, the game will instead give you a fade to white transition and crash on you.
And you have to think of how long it took for this person to find all of this out.
They found the original glitch for the collision just not loading properly was found in like 2009, documented properly in like 2010 or something. And then it was just left as like some random one-off thing until like early January of this year, when someone was like, you know, we could totally just manipulate this and try and see if we can find another wrong warp this way, because it might be faster. And then the guy that made the original video in 2010 was like, bet, I'll mess around with it. And he messed around for like a couple hours in a video. Actually, no, that's a lie. The couple hours came from like the first time he was doing it. And then he was like, you know what, I'll mess around again. And then 3 minutes later, he was like, so I kind of accidentally wrong warped. And everyone just exploded. Anyway, welcome to the recording.
This is a brief explanation.
What an intro! What an intro. I love how the intro was, I'll try and spitball more or less what I remember while I was trying to write down study material for an exam that I took today, and I ended up basically just recalling the entire video. But to be fair, it's not like I didn't. It's not like I didn't also dedicate time into memorizing what was in my notebook. I could probably tell you what I wrote into my notebook too. It's just not nearly as interesting as that.
No turn is fun.
It's like when somebody opens with, I'm going to tell you a brief story. It all started 15 years ago on the night of
It was 2016, and it was Cincinnati.
You have to understand, Tucker. It was 1941. If you know, you know. Anyway, let's use some garlic on these phones, huh?
Woo.
You cannot start that way. Fuck off.
Oh.